Oatka Creek Park is located in Scottsville, New York, just 30 minutes away from the College at Brockport. Here, graduate student Jessica DeToy has been conducting a study for almost 2 years on salamanders and the surrounding vegetation. Scattered throughout the park, 200 wood coverboards were used to attract and locate salamanders. With the help of 2 undergraduate students, Jess was able to collect data on the salamanders and take measurements such as body mass and reproductive status.
My main interest is to study the effects of an invasive plant species, pale swallowwort, on native terrestrial salamander populations. We already know that this plant can displace both native plant and animal species by influencing a wide array of abiotic and biotic parameters, such as soil chemistry, nutrient availability, or even direct physical harm. Several studies have reported on other invasive plant species and their effects on amphibians, but not much is known about the effects of pale swallowwort, specifically on woodland salamanders in the family Plethodontidae.
So for the first probably 15 years of my academic life at the college at Brockport, my students and I worked mostly on birds, breeding ecology, conservation biology, etc. But in the last decade or so, I've become really interested in salamanders. And so that's one reason it's wonderful to have Jess and her coworkers take up this study. So if you think about a salamander, let's say one that weighs only a gram, all right? So that's a little bit more than a raisin in their mass. And if you give that salamander an equivalent amount of food in a year, she can survive and lay eggs. I mean, these species are perfectly adapted to a life of slowness on getting by on very little. And to me, that's wonderful. That's beautiful. And it's one of the reasons that we do the work that we do.
What's astounding is salamanders within this family, Plethodontidae, have a greater combined biomass in some eastern forests than any other vertebrate despite their small size. And because of their longevity, sensitivity, and abundance, they're often used as indicator species of forest health. So as a result of this, their populations can drastically decline in response to environmental stressors, like the introduction of new diseases, changes in forest composition caused by invasive species, and of course climate change. So with regard to conserving amphibian populations in an ever-changing world, it's really important to understand the ecological interactions between both non-native and native biota within an ecosystem.
So one of the things I love about my job at Brockport is asking interesting questions about the natural world, and to do this with my students. So take the project with salamanders and swallowwort that Jess is working on with the help of Emily and Krista. I mean, what's going on with this system? What are the interactions that are occurring, most of them out of our sight, right? Why is this interesting? And most importantly, why should we care?
My interest in this study is seeing how soil moisture affects the salamander abundance as well as the invaded areas and the native vegetation areas in the different habitat types. And I'm excited to get hands-on experience handling the animals as well as taking samples from the field and bringing them back to the lab to be analyzed. I'm thankful for Jess and Dr. Norman's commitment to helping me design my study as well as going through the taking of samples and analyzing them.
So I think that one of the hallmarks of the environmental science program at the college at Brockport are the close working relationships that faculty develop with their students. Our doors are always open, our labs are always open, and for interested and motivated students, there are opportunities to get involved in research programs, in activities outside of the normal classroom. And many of these activities can give our students the opportunities that they need to develop skills and experiences that will help them once they go out into the larger world. I believe that we teach wonderful classes, exciting classes, interesting classes, but it's opportunities to work in places like this on questions like the ones involving salamanders and swallowwort was one of the main strengths of our program.
I switched to an environmental science major my sophomore year of college, and the department has been really helpful ever since. Professors like Dr. Norman allowed me to incorporate my own skills into my love for environmental science, and with the help of Jess, I was able to create this video on salamanders while also receiving fieldwork experience.
The opportunity that the department provides students to pursue their own research projects, such as myself, has given me so much value as a scientist, especially with their hands-on teaching approach. It's definitely allowed me to gain ability with critical thinking and use those necessary tools within our field to grow and develop as a scientist.
So a year from now, thinking back, or are you thinking forward? Do you think you'll miss these guys? Do you think you'll miss being out here at all?
Absolutely, yep. Even through the hard times with the tough weather, just looking back, it's been a really cool part of my life. So I hope to maybe do something in the future revolving around amphibians and salamanders.
All right. Yeah. We'll see.
Thanks, Brockport. Woo!